All right, here we go. This is numbers 3 and 4 on page 60. Um, Rashawn buys 3 7/10 pounds of flour. Diego buys 2 3/4 pounds of flour. Together, they use 4 3/5 pounds of flour to bake bread. How much is left over? And then we got to express our answer as a decimal. No problem, that's easy. Okay, so we know these two guys bought some flour. All right. So it looks like Rashawn bought more than Diego, so I'll just make his bigger. This is Rashawn. This is Diego. Rashawn bought 3 7/10, and Diego bought 2 3/4 pounds of flour. What I do not know is how much they have together. So I can figure that out simply by, together. I just need to add. So 3 7/10 plus 2 3/4. Okay, these are not the same size pieces, so I cannot add these together until they are. Using what I know about multiples, I know that we could go to 20 pretty easily. So to turn a tenth into a 20th, you're going to multiply it by 2. What I do to the bottom, I must do to the top. So 3 7/10 becomes 3 14/20. Exact same stuff. Okay, to turn fourths into 20ths, I'm going to need to multiply by 5. What I do to the bottom, I must do to the top. So 2 3/4 becomes 2 15/20. Sweet, I have the same size pieces. Now I'm ready to add them. 14/20 plus 15/20 is 29/20. 3 plus 2 is 5. Okay, this is totally correct, but I have more pieces than it takes to make a whole, so that makes my fraction improper. So I can totally change this to, I'm going to take out my 20. That will make my 5 6 wholes, and when I take out 20/20, that will leave me with 9/20. So together, Rashawn and Diego have 6 9/20 pounds of flour. Okay, they use up 4 3/5. So if they started with 6 9/20, and they use up 4 3/5, that just means I need to subtract the 4 3/5 they used to tell me how much is left. So again, I'm looking at this, wrong size pieces, but I can easily turn fifths into 20ths. So I'm going to multiply by 4, and by 4. Not doing anything to my 6 9/20 minus 4. 4 3/5 becomes 4 12/20. Roy. I can't subtract 12/20 from 9/20, so I'm just going to have to borrow. So my 9/20, I'm going to take 1, that'll become 5. The one whole that I borrow is 20/20, so that's going to be 29/20. So 5 29/20 minus 4 12/20 is going to give me 29/20 minus 12/20 is 17/20. 5 minus 4 is 1. So there is 1 pound and 17/20 pounds of flour left. But I'm not done, because they said, hey, don't answer as a fraction, answer as a decimal. Super duper easy to turn a fraction into a decimal. You can divide your numerator by your denominator. That'll work. You can find a way to turn this into a tenth or a hundredth or a thousandth. That would work. I look at this, 20th. It's really, really easy to turn a 20th into a hundredth. So to do that, you would multiply by 5. What you do to the bottom, you must do to the top. I'm going to scooch over here for a little extra space. 17 times 5, that's 35. Carry the 3. Okay, so that my new number is 1 85 hundredths. That's super easy to write now as a decimal. That's 1 85 hundredths. There we go. To write my solution sentence, Okay. They have 1 and 8,500 pounds of flour left. Yay, we're done. That looks really, really messy. I'll try to plan a little better on the next one. Okay, Maria uses 2 3/4 meters of cloth to make a dress and 5/8 meters less cloth to make a blouse. How much cloth does she use in all? Express your answer as a decimal. Okay, so this is all the cloth that she's going to use. She's going to make a dress and a blouse. Nobody uses the word blouse anymore. It's kind of funny. And to make a dress, it is 2 3/4 meters. I don't know how much total she used. That's what we're going to figure out. Let's see. To make a dress, 5/8 meters less cloth to make a blouse. So the blouse is the dress minus 5/8 meter. So I don't know what that is yet. I better solve it. So 2 3/4 minus 5/8. I do not have the same size pieces. Easy to fix. Fourths turn into eighths really, really easily. So 2 3/4 becomes 2 6/8 minus 5/8. Okay, so a blouse is 6/8 minus 5/8 is 1/8. 2 minus nothing is 2. Okay, so the blouse is 2 1/8 meters of fabric. So to make one dress and one blouse is going to be 2 3/4 meters plus 2 1/8 meters. Again, don't have the same size pieces. Easy fix. Okay, 2 3/4 becomes 2 6/8. Where is that? Where have we seen that before? And we're going to add 2 1/8. I have the same size pieces, so 6/8 plus 1/8 is 7/8. 2 plus 2 is 4. So altogether, it uses 4 7/8 meters of cloth. But again, they said, you're not done yet. How do you express your answer as a decimal? So the ways we can do this, we can turn it into hundredths. We can, or tenths or hundredths or thousands. Eighths don't really lend themselves to that. So let's just do it the other way. Let's divide the numerator by the denominator. So I know, I'm going to start my solution sentence over here. Okay, so Maria uses meters of cloth in all. That means on both her dress and her blouse. So I know it's going to be 2 wholes because that's not going to change when I convert from a fraction to a decimal. So all I have to do is divide 7 by 8. Take your numerator and divide it by your denominator. I'm going to add some tenths and hundredths. Don't really add any value to this, but okay, 8 goes into 7. I can't. So I'm going to break those 7 ones down into tenths, and 7 ones become 70 tenths. That means I'll give everybody 8 tenths, but I'll use up 64 tenths. And that leaves me with 60. Okay, well, that's going to be 700. 7 times 8 is 56. Uh-oh. Oh, here we go. Just by taking it out to the thousands place. Oops. 8 goes into 40 5 times. So, and then 5 sets of 8 is 40. I'm done. Okay, so my decimal part, my 7/8 is the same as 875 thousandths. So Maria uses 2 875 thousandths meters of cloth in all. Whew. It really wasn't that hard. I just made it seem like it took a long time. The reason that you hear all the noise in the background, those are your beautiful children having recess. It was too cold and blowy for us to go outside. Hope you guys have a great night and hope this helps. If you have any questions, you can always text or use the Remind app to get a hold of me. Have a great night. Bye.